brighten other people's world with a smile, all of a sudden the world brightens up around you. It's like reciprocal. It's so interesting, and it's something in psychology that I don't want to talk about more because I don't have the studies in front of me, but it's something about us having a good attitude and keeping a good attitude around the people that we are having or around with that makes us so much better at whatever we want to do. Let's stop fighting beliefs. Stop fighting beliefs and let's try to find common ground. We're all on this planet together. According to statistics, it's the person who's mediocre that actually advances further. I'm more interested in the top 10 richest men in the world, and Bezos, who I can't get over this joke. I've been saying this joke, and if somebody says it on the Oscars, you know what I'm saying? The man can get divorced and is still the richest man in the She took half and he's still richest man. Come on, Bezos, you got this. When you start to brighten other people's world with a smile, all of a sudden the world brightens up around you. It's like reciprocal. It's so interesting, and it's something in psychology that I don't want to talk about more because I don't have the studies in front of me, but it's something about us having a good attitude and keeping a good attitude around the people that we are having or around with that makes us so much better at whatever we want to do. Let's stop
Testing,
fighting
1,
beliefs.
2, 3.
Stop fighting beliefs and let's try to find common ground. We're all on this planet together. According to statistics, it's the person who's mediocre that actually advances further. I'm more interested in the top 10 richest men in the world, and Bezos, who I can't get over this joke. I've been saying this joke, and if somebody says it on the Oscars, you know what I'm saying? The man can get divorced and is still the richest man in the She took half and he's still richest man. Come on, Bezos, you got this. When you start to brighten other people's world with a smile, all of a sudden the world brightens up around you. It's like reciprocal. It's so interesting, and it's something in psychology that I don't want to talk about more because I don't have the studies in front of me, but it's something about us having a good attitude and keeping a good attitude around the people that we are having or around with that makes us so much better at whatever we want to do. Let's stop fighting beliefs. Stop fighting beliefs and let's try to find common ground. We're all on this planet together. According to statistics, it's the person who's mediocre that actually advances further. I'm more interested in the top 10 richest men in the world, and Bezos, who I can't get over this joke. I've been saying this joke, and if somebody says it on the Oscars, you know what I'm saying? The man can get divorced and is still the richest man in the She took half and he's still richest man. Come on, Bezos, you got this.
All right. You know what time it is, folks. I said, you know what time it is, folks. It's time for In the Hot Box with Doc Rio. I hope you're reading me, because I hear myself, and I don't want to hear myself. There we go. There we go. I want to hear what you guys are hearing, though. But for some reason, I'm not hearing that at this moment, so I have to refix that. So, why am I wearing this mask right now? Because, this is going to become our standard. It's going to become our standard soon. But it's just how it feels now, It's hard to do that on the radio, or in a studio microphone, so that ain't happening today. So, but yeah, that's going to be the standard. We're all going to be walking around with masks all the time. Got to start thinking about that. And we got to start thinking about, those of us, I'm repeating the lesson that I did yesterday. As a matter of fact, we got to start thinking about those of us who are doing some solo social distancing. We got to start thinking about what's going on in in that world and how it's affecting or how it can affect our lives. You know, I think a lot of people spend a lot of time worried about the wrong things. And so today we're going to talk about worrying about the right things. You know, we're going to talk about something that I've said before. Don't just hang in there. Climb up. The state of the world that we live in today, the situations that we face today, that we're facing today, right now, can put us in all kind of situations. And I'm hoping that I'm reaching a lot of people out there right now in different areas. You know, I mean, individuals who might just be sitting at home by themselves, couldn't sleep last night because they're at home alone, and it's not like they can actually go out and spend time with family members. It's not like they can actually go out and be close to people. I mean, I know some people in this apartment complex were still partying on this weekend and not listening to social distancing orders, you know, and that's kind of disheartening to me because, you know, that could easily cause a spread, especially in a building like this that has a form of centralized air and all kind of things, you know. So you just never know what may happen. But, I mean, you know, the whole family's running around acting like it was a regular Easter. Things that you worry about, and, you know, things that might happen when it comes time for us to step back out, and things that our medical professionals are worried about, you know. So I don't know, folks. I don't know. We might be in a whole nother scenario, and I'm hoping that we can get there without having as much trouble as we've been having. Just checking my audio. I see I'm playing on Twitter here, and it actually lets me moderate comments. But right now, this lesson right now it's called Climb Up, Keep Moving. That's right, it's called Climb Up, Keep Moving. You know what I mean? So we're going to jump right into this lesson real quick. But before we do that, let's give a shout out to one of my favorite sponsors. Looks like you're not hearing the music from them. Oh, why is that? There we go. There we go. Let's get that music back on there. Yeah, because I'm talking, it's actually affecting the whole balance right now. I've got my audio set up a little bit differently now. I'm just trying to wait, make sure I see this. Let's give a shout out to one of my favorite sponsors in just a second. As a matter of fact, folks, let's get that shout out right now. Just push button in. Look at us up on Doc Rio TV. All right. Because guess what? Doc is back. Doc is back, and I probably didn't set up everything the way I should on another channel as well. Matter of fact, I need to look at that right now. But you know what time it is, folks. It's time for more In the Hot Box with Doc Rio. Today's lesson is called Climb Up, Keep Moving. That's right. Climb up, keep moving. And we're going to do something a little bit different with this lesson. After I fix these hotkeys real quick, we're going to do a little bit, that's the lesson. We're going to do something, I don't want to say so different, but in a different sense. This whole lesson is a little bit different from where I stand and where I'm coming from. Display capture 2. Display capture 2. F6 and F5. Yeah. But apply. So I'm going to need this though above it. Yeah, that's me. So I'm going to need this above it until I decide I want to switch to that. That's how we had to work that. Okay. All right, that works out. That works out. See, I just did so. Oh, wait, I hope so. I got 2 of them. Whoa. Got to make sure. I think I might have fixed something here. As you may have noticed last night, I had some bad audio. It wasn't really necessarily bad. It was just double echoing. So you might catch me double checking my audio every time just because I am now God blasting. I call it God blasting. God casting. Multicasting is what it really is. But multicasting doesn't really work if it's not hitting every channel. So I don't know if it's hitting every channel, but I know it's on YouTube, Mixer, and Periscope, which puts it on Twitter as well. So I'm hoping it gets out to LinkedIn as well, but I need to make sure I do this before I go on with the lesson, because if I don't, I'm going to mess something up and it's going to distract me, and I don't like to be distracted while I'm in the middle of broadcasting, unless it's by you all. Unless it's by you all asking me questions. Matter of fact, I got a few questions I got to pull up. Not today, but I'm going to pull out some more of the questions that have been texted to me. If you would like to text me some questions, you can easily text me at 310-844-9285. That's 310-844-9285. Text me from a computer. You text me from a computer, so it's anonymous, so I don't even have your number at all. You can text me from somebody else's phone if you want. You can text me from anywhere you want to. I'm not keeping the numbers on that. I am, keeping the messages because I like to repeat the messages and share them back out to other people here, because some of the answers that I might give may actually help people. So remember that. And if you like what you see in these broadcasts, please make sure you go down to the bottom. If you're watching this on YouTube and Mixer, you can follow on Mixer, or you can subscribe on YouTube, but both of them have a bell to click for future notifications. So go ahead and click that bell. If you're watching this episode right now on Periscope, go ahead and follow me through Periscope. If you're watching this on Twitter, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I mean, come on, I got like 4,000 people on Twitter. Come on in, join the family, join the tweeple. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching this on, if it got to Facebook, I don't know if it did, but if you're watching this later on Facebook, if you're watching this on LinkedIn, go ahead and follow me real quick. Send me a follow, send me a like. And if you really want to keep up and you want to talk to me quicker, get a hold of me quicker, because I am getting a ton of those text messages, what I love, because then I can go through and actually find the valid questions, because some of the text messages, some people are, you know how some people are. And it's not even people, it's that they put me on the Robotech list. So they won't be getting your information because this particular text line is secured. I have paid for extra stuff to make sure it's secured, that I can block out those spammers and block out all those extra stuff. So when they do come in, if they're just a spammer, they get blocked. If there's somebody who maybe just trolling me, they get blocked as well. I mean, they don't get blocked, but I can see it and then I can automatically add them to the block list. So don't think that they'll be able to get access to your information. They won't be able to unless they actually hack the cell phone servers. So, that's a whole nother, that's out of my hands. So, but go ahead and send me a text message if you like. If you really, really want to keep in touch with me a little bit more, I haven't been on there as much as I should be, but I'm setting it up to where, we can have chats all the time in Discord, where we can sit down and I can sit down and chat with other people. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be reaching out to people within this week again to try to see if we can set up stuff. I wanted to reach out to them yesterday, but I had so many technical difficulties with PC. PC was kicking my butt and getting things set up the way it should be. And still, even today, it had some issues getting stuff out using Stream Elements and Restream IO. They just didn't want to work well together for some odd reason. So, with that being said, like I am here, gonna go quickly hook this up. Lesson 8. Looks like it doesn't matter because even though it's in there twice, it's the same capture device. I did not know that. Now you learned something new. If you're using OBS or you're using anything like that and you duplicate a capture device in the same scene, or duplicate a device in the same scene, and you put a hotkey on it, it only goes to one hotkey. I didn't see a second one. I'm going to double check that and bring that back again, but that's a little extra tip for folks out there. But with that being said, that looks like that's a little bit off. Let's see here. Video capture device, is that this one? Yeah, that's this one. No, we don't want that one. We want this one. Looks like that's a little bit off, so let's fix that. Oh. Yeah, I think I just did. Nope. I don't know if I did. I don't know if I did. I don't think I fixed it. Oh, yeah, there it goes. There it goes. Now it's fixed. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter if it's fixed or not. What I'm messing with doesn't really matter. You know why it doesn't really matter? Because I'm about to do something else that's going to change the game. Stay tuned. This is Doc. I'll be right back. Let's jump into this lesson. This lesson is part of, just so you know, this lesson is part of the 12 steps to multimedia success. That's right. Video capture device, display capture device, and why is this automatically different again? Probably because things just did not work the way they wanted to work. So let me reset this up one more time. As we see, we're continually having technical difficulties here. I know I just set that up. While we were sitting there, while you watched me talking to you saying that I was setting something up, and it just did not set right for some odd reason. So now that we got it in here, let's get it in the box the way it is, live and on the screen. You're watching me do it live. Once again, this is part of the 12 steps to multimedia success, like I was saying before. And being that it's part of the 12 steps to multimedia success, being that it is part of this program that I'm putting together, it ties in a little bit with Back to Basics. All right, Back to Basics is the first series in this new series that I started to, because we had to go back to the basics. You know what I mean? A lot of people didn't know a little bit about these basics. Some of the basics were about motivating yourself to get to the next level. And even now, when it comes to Climb Up, this next series, it's still about motivating ourselves. Why? Because we're in the middle of a pandemic. We're in the middle of a time when you're probably seeing constant commercials, you know, flash by you about how you can make money. As a matter of fact, you know, some of y'all are sitting at home and y'all having the same problem I'm having. You're solo social distancing. You're at home and you might be twiddling your thumbs a little bit, not know what to do. Idle hands are the devil's playground. Idle hands make you do things or make you worry about the wrong things. And you don't want to be worried about the wrong things. Not in this day and age. It's not the time for us to be worried about the wrong things. We should be worried about things that help us grow. We should be worried about things that help us survive. We should be worried about things that are best for our friends, for our families, for our loved ones, and not things that are causing us grief and ill will. We should not be worried about where the next party is in the middle of a pandemic. We should not be worried about Easter events in the middle of a pandemic. We should be worried about the safety of our family, the safety of our loved ones, and the safety of everyone else around us. Because if one person at one of these parties has it, they're liable to give it to everyone. Everyone. And who's to say that you're not the next one on the list to go? Just because you wanted to spend time on a holiday. You know how many holidays we have a year? How many holidays do we have a year? Every month there's a holiday. I mean, do we take enough vacations or what? Let's think about that for just a second. And if you're solo social distancing, you're having a problem like I am. You don't have as many people to lean on and talk about this like you would like to. You know, I see that the lights from outside are starting to come in a little bit more, and my blue is starting to fade away here. Let me do something to some video capture settings here. Change some things around. That's a little bit too much, but if I do that and I do this, nope. Do that. Oh, that blue is going to be blown away anyway. The sun is just killing it. The sun is just killing it. That morning sun. That morning sun. I try to brighten it up a little bit, but if I brighten it up too much, it's gonna take it. It's gonna be too far. So I probably should just bring this back up to there. Give y'all what y'all seeing. Yeah, y'all getting sun coming in the window there. I'm not usually up this early doing broadcast. I'm up this early, but I'm not usually doing broadcast this early. So that just kind of, I can just cancel everything. It just puts it back to where it was. All right. So, those of you at home who are practicing social distancing, solo social distancing, might not have somebody close to you, might not have somebody near you that you can sit down and be around and lean on. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people in their families, they're leaning on people. And I know that this event like, this is kind of invaluable to your well-being, your mental health right now. Especially if you don't have food at home, that might be invaluable to your well-being as well. But I know, and that there are some people who would rather not say that they're sick. You know what I'm saying? So they can be around. I know that there are some people in our family who have had broken legs and would act like they didn't have a broken leg just so they wouldn't have to go to the hospital. You know what I mean? People are like that. People are like that. And what if that same person is the one who decides that it's more important for them to go to this party than it is for them to go seek help for their illness? They may have COVID-19. They may have some kind of other illness and they just don't want to go to the hospital and seek it. And what if that illness could bring you some other disease and mutate with COVID-19? We don't know. We don't have a full extent of what this virus can do. Doctors are working all the time. They don't even know if dead bodies are still carrying. They don't know if there is a contraction from corpses right now. This is how bad this is right now. They do not know enough about this disease. And if they don't know enough about this disease, then you obviously don't know enough about this disease. I don't care if you even work in the medical profession as a nurse or a doctor, you don't know enough about this disease. Because the best minds in this field don't know enough about this disease. The best minds. And they got a team of people working on this all the time. You may just be working in your small sector knowing a little bit about this disease, when they're looking at the wider spectrum of it and still can't figure it out. So those of you who are solo social distancing, you're in the best place possible. It may not feel like the best place. It may not seem like the best place, but you can rely on yourself to keep yourself safe. Those of us who may not be social distancing don't have that advantage. But I know that it's hard. And I know that we can fall into a lifestyle that can take us away from what we need to do. But when you're solo social distancing, you have to remember this. Climb up. Keep moving. This is what you need to learn after going back to the basics. Anyway, this was the next lesson series anyway, to climb up and keep moving. You know what I mean? I might do this 3 times in a week just to make sure it gets across to people. I had to do it twice because of not being able to stream out to where I wanted to, everyone. I want to reach people where they're at, and I'm hopefully soon will have it locked into Facebook the way it needs to be. Soon, hopefully I have it locked into LinkedIn the way it needs to be, so I can stream, multi-stream, and multicast out to y'all and talk to y'all and reach you where you want to see me. Because I know some people don't like switching platforms. I know. I hear it all the time. Oh, why are you switching platforms? Why are you on this other platform? Why are you on this? I know a lot of people who are in the 40 to 80 range who listen and talk, and they may only look at me on one platform. The only reason why they can see me on the other platform is because YouTube connects, or because they saw my IGTV and that's all they wanted to watch, because they do have Instagram because of their grandchildren. But I know some people that aren't on social media at all. They won't even go to YouTube. And so I email them these videos. Somehow, some way, some shape or form, I email them a link, and hopefully they come out to the link. I do see some people going out to the I want to say the podcast, but it's the blog on docrio.com and getting the information. And right now, it's a difficult time for many of you. Many of you are sitting at home trying to figure out where you're going to make money. And that's why this lesson is even more important. You know what I mean? Because if you're sitting at home trying to figure out how to make money, you're probably worried about what's next. What's next for you? What's next for your family? What's next for your community? You know what I mean? I should have updated this because I actually have an updated version of this already here. I should have updated that version and opened that version instead. But that's okay. That's okay. It's okay that it says Rio Bucks in the bottom corner. You know what I mean? Because that's the monetary amount now. Rio Bucks is, yes, it's still a company, but it's no longer going to be used as a company. It's going to be the monetary amongst. You'll get Rio Bucks coins, and you'll get Rio Bucks if you're watching this on Mixer and you want to play any of the games. As you may see, I don't know if you do see, but if you're watching this on Mixer, you might see some actual buttons at the bottom. Those buttons at the bottom will start to get you Rio Buck coins. I'm going to start making sure that anybody who uses them or anybody who uses my bot, as we stack them up, start to get coins. Those coins add up to Real Buck dollars. Those dollars add up to what? I'm going to say, I'm going back to the old rule, and it's a number that I got from somewhere else. 227 Real Bucks adds up to $1. 227 Real Bucks. Now, I have not given you the formula to how Real Buck coins add up to Real Bucks yet. But as you get Real Buck coins, by the end of the month, you'll be able to spend those Real Buck coins or Real Buck coins to get you Real Bucks. And those Real Bucks will add up as well to either things you can buy through RioWare or DocRio.com, or things that you can buy through there. And so you're basically able to get things for free just by watching. Just by watching, if you're watching it on Mixer, that's what I'm offering out there. A chance for you to get stuff for free, play the games, get involved in the community, get to know what's going on, and try to understand some of the stuff that we'll be talking about. Because we're going to be talking with people who are in businesses and people who are veterans and people who are fathers and people who are, just having different things in their lifestyle, whether it be, they're elderly or whether they're young and they're trying to figure this out for themselves right now. And we're going to be looking at how to help people climb up and keep moving. What you need to know after doing the basics. The first thing you need to know is you don't get stagnant, because if you get stagnant, you can lose it all. I mean, right now we're at home. Many of you are at home for the first time, and you used to going out to working all the time. Some of you don't have a job anymore, and I'm sorry to hear that. Some of you, even when you go back, might have a job, but your world has changed. You might not be able to figure things out the same way. I'm gonna tell you, to be honest with you, most people won't be able to. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not staying sharp, staying on point, and keeping moving. We got to stay sharp, stay on point, and we got to keep moving. Because if you don't stay sharp and if you don't stay on point and you don't keep moving, you become stagnant. I mean, for me, one of the things I'm doing that I shouldn't be doing, I told people this last night, is I'm doing push-ups. My arm, I got frozen shoulder. I'm not supposed to be doing push-ups. I'm doing push-ups to try to keep that chest. And I was doing this before this quarantine, because I didn't want old man chest. But that's something active that I do. But I also go out to work. You see, I go out to work right now because as a reporter, I work in an essential business, and I'm allowed to go out. And as an editorial assistant, I'm allowed to go out and help the station continue to broadcast news about this pandemic, mostly about this pandemic, and local news, of course, things that are going on in our local area. But that's not the point. The point is that I am going out, but even when I'm in, I find that
I've been in this scenario before where I've been at home alone, solo social distancing because that was my lifestyle because I had injured leg or I had surgeries and I had to stay at home by myself and I couldn't go out and be around other people. And I became hermit-like. Just to be honest, we become hermit-like and we get into these habits that aren't healthy. These habits that aren't healthy make it harder for us to go out or want to go out and work a regular job. The reason why I went to work at the VRC is because I had to make myself get used to going out to work at a job. And for those who don't know, the VRC is the Veterans Resource Center, and this is specifically the Veterans Resource Center at Cal State University Northridge in the University Student Union. So, CSUN USU VRC. So if you hear those initials, me say those out there, that's what those mean, you know. But with that being said, I still had issues. I still had to figure out ways to, as Brene Brown would say, cultivate meaningful work. I'm glad that was the one we did because that's the one I was really having a problem with. I'll be honest. I was pointing one finger out to all these students, but I was struggling with that myself and making myself do it by following Brene Brown's steps. And didn't even know it until I picked up her book and read that section. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden we ended up doing a lesson on that in the University Student Union. It was just so ironic that step by step these things unveiled themselves to me, and I was so wound up in our training to do this that I couldn't even pitch this up because I really felt like this hit home for me. And when we had to do training, we had to do a pre-pitch of this, and I was so wound up. Some people know that they were like, man, I don't know if this guy's going to be able to do the presentation. Yeah, it was really hitting home, and it was really making a change in my life. So I really appreciate what I learned at the Veterans Resource Center and what I was able to learn from the CSUN University Student Union, or the Cal State University Northridge University Student Union. And the fact that I may not be able to walk across the stage for commencement, but there's a lot of things that I learned about keeping myself on point to get to that next level, about staying sharp, staying positive, and keep moving. That lesson you see up above right there. You see what I mean? I'm not just coming off the top of my head with this stuff. This is stuff that is being imprinted into me, and I'm learning. Not just from people out there who are teaching me, not just from books I'm reading that are teaching me, not just from classes that I'm taking that are teaching me, not just from my imaginary board of mentors, my imaginary council. You know what I'm saying? If you saw one of my last lessons, you understood why I have an imaginary council of people who are dead and alive that I talk to because I've read their writings and understood their works and understood how they would respond, like Abraham Lincoln. I understand that he would respond to me in certain ways because he was Honest Abe. And maybe y'all don't understand how honest he really may not have been. But, you know, I understand that, you know, Honest Abe in his first letter would cuss me out, would hurt me on a lot of things, be like, why did you mess this up? That would be Honest Abe first off. And then he would take that letter and send it off to the side and write me a letter that helps, inspires me, that motivates me, that gets me to do what he needs me to do as a president. You see what I'm saying? He wouldn't be much like ours and have our community in confusion because he did not take the steps to make things happen. He did not stay sharp, stay on point, and keep moving. You see what I'm saying? That's why he's futzing and fuddling on stage. And some people might still back him for that, and some people might see through all of this, but you got to realize, and I've got to bring this back up, one thing about Trump is, yes, he got a business degree, I think it was a bachelor's degree from an Ivy League university, and yes, he got it on the, you know, from the fact that he got it through his dad's assistance, I'm going to be honest with you. And the fact that, yes, he did get a loan from his dad, but he has never really been successful at business. He's been successful at selling and licensing his name and promoting a show that gave him an image. But, I mean, he really isn't a successful businessman, even though he's got $10 billion, or says he has $10 billion. He's a successful licenser. Which I would say, you know what? Be honest, that is a successful business. If you're capable of licensing stuff out, look at Mr. Wonderful. He loves licensing deals. Mr. Wonderful
loves licensing deals if you watch Shark Tank. But, you know what I'm saying? A lot of entrepreneurs love licensing deals. And so, yeah, he's making money off his licensing his name all across the world. You know, those projects, there's a lot of projects he says he's a part of, but he's not really. He's licensed his name out to these projects. And he's been very unsuccessful as a businessman. As you all know, he's gone bankrupt, but he's figured out ways to come back from bankruptcy by licensing his name. It's smart. I've talked about this before. He is smart in the business sense, but he's not smart in the medical sense. You know, I only listen to our medical professionals when it comes to medical. I listen to our business professionals when it comes to business. I listen to our medical professionals when it comes to medicine. You know what I mean? And sometimes I read and debate with them to try to make sure that our medical professionals are paying attention. You should ask my primary care physician. She gets mad. I know she gets irritated with me because I'm come back. I'm like, well, maybe this is the reason why. She's like, no, I've never heard any cases of that. Okay, thank you. Thank you, because she's giving me back a study perspective. And I've talked to other medical professionals. I've read stuff on the line. Because I know nowadays a lot of medical professionals are reading stuff online. You know? But we're in this time right now where a lot of medical professionals are not reading stuff online about this disease. A lot of medical professionals are facing it hands-on. And some of you, I have much respect. Like I told y'all earlier, you may not know as much as the people who look at the big picture, but y'all are facing this front on. And hats off to y'all. Hats off to y'all. Much respect to y'all. And I pray that y'all are able. Hats off to y'all and much respect to y'all. And I pray that y'all are able. Y'all are able to stay safe and stay healthy. You know what I mean? We need y'all. We need y'all out there fighting for us. You know what I mean? We need y'all out there saving lives. And so I don't want to downgrade what y'all are doing. Y'all are putting y'all lives on the line. All the medical professionals, from even down to the assistants who are helping those medical professionals. Anybody working in the people cleaning, you know, the facility, the maintenance people. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are all being a part of this as well. You know what I'm saying? The people taking out the waste and disposing. Y'all are out there putting yourself at risk as well. The people in the ambulances, the people doing everything. And I know this is Easter Monday, and some of y'all had Passover on Friday and Good Friday. You know what I'm saying? Passover, Good Friday, Easter Sunday. You know, and we've had to self-isolate and be at home throughout this time. But we gotta remember that this disease right now, this virus right now, could take us all. It can take us all if we're not careful. You know, and these times are more critical for those of us who have a business and need money and want to take care of our family, because this is not a vacation. I'm going to say that later on. This is not a vacation again. You know, we still got to pay our bills. This is not a free break for y'all. You know what I mean? So one of the things that you probably seeing when you're out there, and if you're like me, you're looking for ways to make money. I'm making money like a lot of y'all don't realize. I'm making money when a lot of y'all aren't, because I've been making money on the side all the time. And not just because I got a job, but because I've been working at ways to continue to make money while I'm at home, because I knew it was coming. Not the virus, but I knew it was coming, the need for us to be at home and build a home-based business. You know, you're probably hearing these commercials just like I am, seeing these same commercials. Matter of fact, you're probably seeing this one cat right here, Ty Lopez. You're probably seeing this and wondering, I'm sick and tired of seeing Ty Lopez commercials. I am. But one thing, he's got a major point that we all need to hear. His point is valid. We're in the midst of this whirlwind right now. We're in the midst of having all this stuff happen to us, sitting on our shoulders. People can't work. People got their families at home. You try to figure out what to do. You working at home, trying to work at home, but you're probably getting less done if you got a family at home. If you don't have a family at home, you're getting a lot more done, because you're getting up and just going straight to work, getting the work done, and then you ain't got to worry about it. You know, so some of us who are solo social distancing got more time on our hands because we're able to get up, get work done, and now we're sitting around watching TV doing nothing. I'm saying turn the boob tube off. Watch a little bit of news. Get you about an hour of news in. You know what I'm saying? Maybe watch an episode of Netflix or two to escape. You know what I mean? To get away. But put you about 12, 13, 14 good hours of work in. If you put 12 to 14 good hours of work in, you will start to figure out ways to make money while you sit at home. You see what I mean? You will start to build a habit and continue to have a habit. Even when you go back to work, the habit you will build is that when you come home from work, you'll put in an extra few hours to make your own money, which may benefit you and may actually take you out of that scale of wondering how to have a job. Some of y'all ain't gonna have a job when you get back. Some of you don't have a job anymore. Some of you still might have a job when you get back. But because of what Ty Lopez is telling you, you won't want to go back, or you won't be able to go back to that job the same way. Why? Because his major point is that, listen, it takes 66 days for us to build a habit. Yeah, it takes 66 days. It takes 66 days. It only takes 66 days for us to build a habit. Why? Why is that? This is scientifically proven that within 66 days, we build a particular habit, and when we build that particular habit, I don't see my mic. Okay, I just want to make sure. When we build that particular habit, it becomes part of our lifestyle. So we have to realize something right now. We're going to be at home for 66. We're already getting close to 30 days. We're going to be at home till the end of May, at least. And if you listen to our medical professionals and not our leadership, our medical professionals probably say it's best that we keep social distancing going on for the next few months until the end of the year at least. Why? Because we can retransmit. We can go out and get this up. You know, I go into work at the radio station, and when I go into work at the radio station, I go in and I get my Clorox swabs, and I grab this and I clean this off, and I clean the whole area around the work area. You know what I'm saying? I clean the headphones off. Y'all might see me do that. Y'all might see me have the headphones and be doing this afterwards. And this because I got too much of that Clorox on the earpiece, and I put it on my ears, and it's like, it's too wet. So I had to take it off and rub it on y'all might have seen that on the Friday broadcast. You know what I'm saying? Or on this clip. I got a clip that I'm about to put out there. I thought I pulled that clip up, but I still didn't pull that clip up for y'all. But y'all may have seen me do that. And it's because I'm cleaning up the area. You know what I'm saying? Because even though I may be the only one, even at home, I got to do that. I got to clean this off. Even though I may be the only one, I don't want to have to clean that off. But I'm going to have to now because I just shouted over it. So I'm going to have to clean this part of the mic off as well. But I didn't want to have to be the one to retransmit it to myself. You know what I'm saying? Reinfect myself. You see, that is one thing that I learned Dr. Fauci was talking about, because I was paying attention to the news, not so much that I was just paying attention to the news. I actually put out a story or wanted to make sure a story was written about that, because Fauci said that we have the ability to retransmit the disease, to reinfect ourselves on a later date. And the fact that they don't even know if corpses can reinfect other people. They're putting corpses in freezer trucks because there's so many people dying right now. And those corpses have to be buried at one point. Those people have to be buried at one point. Those poor people who died from this disease that could have been, especially in America, we could have prevented so many deaths. We could have prevented had we acted, had our leadership backed our governors and said, look, this is a national emergency. Shut down the country. That's what needed to happen. I mean, if we can't see that now, that's what needed to happen. I don't want to lay blame, but just the idea is that I'm glad our governor stepped in and saw what was happening in New York and said, look, this is a national emergency. Let's lock us down. So our cases are lowering. As a matter of fact, let's look at the numbers on our cases real quick. And I'm going to go right to World Meters. World Meters coronavirus. Right now. You can see me going on Google right here. All right. World Meters coronavirus. We got 1,889,000, almost 2 million cases. Almost 2 million cases. Okay? Of the coronavirus. almost 2 million cases of coronavirus in the world, all right? Now, in the U.S., we got 566, over 500,000 cases, right? Now, 117,000 deaths worldwide. Now, in America, we could have prevented many of the deaths. When we found out about the first case, we should have prevented. Just like when we found out about the first case of SARS, how come we reacted faster to SARS than we did to coronavirus? Our leadership. But, and the fact that a lot of our leadership was fired because, you know, somebody's still playing a reality TV role, I think. I'm just not being opinionated, but I don't. But a lot of our leadership was fired. And so there weren't people in place who knew how to take control of these jobs. They were fired in advance because they didn't work well with our president. They're meant not to work well with our president. You know, I know that it's better that if I have people in business, I've been told by people who have mentored me in business and who've told me about making a business better. And they say it's better to get someone who does not always agree with you to work with. You see, people who don't agree with you make your business better. They make you think. They keep you on your toes. They keep you staying sharp and staying on point and keeping moving. You see what I'm saying? They help you climb up. They help you keep moving. You see, and so when I look at these cases right here, I see that New York could have been saved at least 100,000 cases. They could have been saved at least 5,000 deaths. At least 5,000 deaths. You know what I mean? Total deaths, California, we only got 682. Total deaths in California, 682. You see what I'm saying? New York could have been saved those deaths had our president, our leadership. I don't want to just say our president because he's listening to other people too who are swaying his opinion. It's not just him. It's not just his pull. We lean it all on Donald Trump. It's not all Donald Trump's fault. We got a lot of millionaires and billionaires who are telling him, no, you can't do this too. You see what I'm saying? Remember, our leadership revolves around money. Our leadership revolves around playing politics around money. So it's not just all his fault. I'm saying our leadership in general, had they taken advantage of what they knew to be a pandemic, they knew it was a pandemic. There were too many people getting sick in China. And yes, the reports may have been curved, but our intelligence community knew. Just like our intelligence community knew about 9/11, just didn't know where. I don't want to say, they might have known where, but I don't want to say that. Let's not go conspiracy theory. They knew something was coming. They just didn't know where. But did we react fast enough during 9/11? Yes, we reacted as fast as we could. Did we react fast enough during SARS? Yes, we acted as fast as we could. Did we react fast enough during Hurricane Katrina? No. Republican president? No. Republican leadership? For some reason, we didn't act as fast as we could. Did we act as fast as we could during this pandemic? For some reason, our Republican leadership didn't act as fast as we could. And that makes me start to wonder, you know, is money more important to this leadership than it is the people who are spending the money? You see, commerce and economy has to do with supply and demand. Supply and demand comes from sales. If you lose 1 million people, then you've lost 1 million possible sales. We got 7 billion people in the world, and yes, we're overpopulated. Yes, we're in that time frame, but a lot of our economy relies on having people buy things, having people sell things and buy things. So to me, it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Are you more worried about the chicken or are you more worried about the egg? I think I'd be more worried about the chicken at this point because the chicken's producing the eggs. You know what I'm saying? I got to worry about the producer, not the product. Right now, they're worried about they're worried actually not even about the producer. They're worried about the dividends on the back end of the product. That's like killing the goose to get some more golden eggs. And I know y'all have heard that before. I'm not even going to quote that book because I got another book I want to talk about. But back to this lesson, which, like I said, is more important. Wow. This is not a vacation, folks. Remember, it's not a vacation. Remember that you got to pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? You may be able to delay on them. You may be able to delay on your rent. You may be able to work something out, but you got to pay them. The government's saying, oh, yeah, there's not going to be any evictions. There's not going to be any of that. But, after this order is lifted, you'll have to pay all that you owe at once. Unless you've worked something out with your landlords or worked something out with your bill collectors. Nothing's going to change unless it's a bill like, those bills that you don't agree with. Certain people, even Grant Cardone said there's certain people that you're just not going to pay because you don't agree with how they did business or whatever the agreement was that you owe money to. It just, I understand that. You might have to go to court with them. You might have to show to the judge the reason why you don't agree and the reason why you don't feel you need to pay. And you still might have to pay something. Or you might have to take some jail time. But the idea is that you're still going to have to pay. Whether it is time or whether it is money, you're still going to have to pay. So while you're at home, don't treat this like a vacation. Don't sit up with your legs up watching Netflix for 12, 13, 16 hours. That's 16 hours of time you could have been trying to figure out how to make money. That's 16 hours of time you could have been trying to figure out how to make the next move for yourself. That's 16 hours of you wasting time, because time is money. We may have to maintain social distancing all the way until June. And I'm getting back to that point. Ty Lopez really has a point. Because in 66 days, things become a habit. And because this is not a vacation, if you treat it like a vacation for 66 days, June would make it 70-something days. 76 days, I believe. Something in that number. You're going to be past the 66-day mark. And whatever you're doing at home right now for those days is going to become a habit. Whatever you're doing on a regular basis every day, if you're just sitting back every day not doing a thing, watching Netflix, when time comes back to go to work, even if you have a job still waiting for you, you're not going to want to go back to that job. You're going to go into work and be like, I wish I was home watching Netflix. Because that habit has become part of your lifestyle. How do you think people start smoking cigarettes? They don't just start smoking cigarettes automatically. They smoke a cigarette or two, and all of a sudden they smoke a cigarette for 66 days, and after 66 days, it becomes a habit to them. Not just an addiction, but a habit to them. Things that we do for a certain amount of time become a habit. After 66 days, scientifically proven, statistically proven, it is a habit. That's why Ty Lopez has a point. Even though I am so sick of his videos, he has a valid point. I mean, come on, y'all folks. Come on, y'all folks. Some of y'all know better. Know better. Hey, hold on. I'm not getting all the chat in. Am I not getting any chat in? Let's see. So, if you want to know about my book list, you should be able to go. Nope, that didn't come in. Oh, yeah, it did. If you want to know about my book list, you can go buy my book list real quick. And take a look at some of the books I'm reading. Take a look at some of the books that are motivating me to keep going on. Because I'm also reading books through this time period, going back through the books. I got a library of books, as some of y'all already know. And I'm spending time with that library of books. If you're watching this on Mixer, you're going to get a link. I'm hoping that this link goes out even further. I don't see it going out on Restream.io. Let's see if it does. But this link has to do with a book. Let's see. No, it's going out only on Mixer. So it went out twice on Mixer, but it doesn't go out any other place. It just goes out book. So what I'm going to do right now is put this back out for people who are on my other chats so that you can make sure you got that same message. So you might see this a few times in Mixer Chat, but seriously though, folks, read. Take the time to get away from the boob tube, get some knowledge. If you're going to be on the boob tube, get some knowledge. Be on YouTube. Watch some Ty Lopez. You might be sick of him, but he's got some good points there. This is time for a home-based business. This is time for you. If you've got a talent, if you've got a skill, if you've got anything, you should do what, Arthur Ashe says. He says, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. You're stuck at home right now, so you're stuck at home. That's where you are. You know the skills that you have. You know the tools that you have. I got a buddy. You know what I'm saying? Leave it for later. He was just saying it today in Instagram. You know what I'm saying? We talk on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm on Twitter. If you watching me on Twitter right now, you know what I'm saying? Leave it for later. You know what I'm saying? He's on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? And he's jamming. He's playing some music. He's playing original songs that he's writing. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And right after that, he responded back, yeah, I got a lot of time now. I was like, that's what I mean. Use that time wisely. Take advantage. Keep moving. Stay sharp. Stay on point. And keep moving. Climb up. Don't just hang in there. Don't just hang in there. Climb up. That's a docism for y'all who don't know that. It's mine. I like to tell you if it's something that I put out there because I use it a lot more, especially since usually this message is one finger out and 3 fingers in. But this time, this is all fingers out to y'all. This message is all fingers out to y'all because I'm actually taking my 3 fingers right now. As you see me right now, I'm preparing a lesson. I'm giving y'all a lesson. This is part of my home-based business, preparing lessons to motivate other people to get back out there. And no, I may not be Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, Gary Vee, or anybody out there with a big name, but I am presenting myself as a case study of going from zero to hero. You see what I'm saying? I am here to show you what it's like to take these steps and showing you what I have gone through and what I continue to go through to get to that phase of point B. And right now it's more important than ever that you at least take that step and spend that time and not sit there idle, twiddling your thumbs because the devil will come in and put you in another place. And whether or not you believe in the devil, whether or not you believe in anything else, but you not using your mind, you not taking advantage of what you have leads you to do certain things that lead you into trouble. It's just everybody, anybody. We start thinking bad things. We start living bad things. We start believing bad things. And that's the problem. That's the problem with us. You know what I'm saying? Because while we're sitting at home, the government or our medical leadership is predicting that we're going to be here to reduce the death toll. We need to maintain social distancing until June. We're going to be here till June. And many of us are not prepared for this. Many of us, when we get ready to go back to work, will not be prepared to go back to work. Many of us, when we get ready to go back to work, even if we have a job waiting for us, will either not want to or not be prepared or be out of habit of going to work. And therefore, our habits will change, our lifestyle will have changed, and our wants and our desires will have changed. And we will start worrying about the wrong things. Some of y'all are going, why? Why? Let me tell you why. Because social distancing does a couple of things for us. At work, as you see in this photo, we have to sit at least 6 feet apart. And that's even if we return, we'll still be sitting 6 feet apart. There are a certain amount of individuals who aren't as boisterous. And what I learned from StrengthsFinder, from Clifton Strengths, and I said Lipton last night, Clifton Strengths, I think I said Lipton. I sure did. Clifton Strengths. In StrengthsFinder, one thing that I learned from them is that we are all kind of different people. And when you start team building and you start using StrengthsFinder to team build, you start to learn that you might be the outgoing person. There may be an introvert that may help you this way. There may be an analytical person that helps you this way. There may be another person who pays attention to people and their energy is a little bit more. So you have these different traits, these strengths.
And everybody has different strengths, but everybody's top 5 are different. It's like a fingerprint. Everybody's fingerprint is totally different. That's the one thing I learned about StrengthsFinder. And if our fingerprint is totally different, between each other, then we need other people with different fingerprints to make things happen. That's why success stems off of teamwork more than it does off of individuality. And right now, we're individualizing ourselves. That teamwork is going to dissipate because we're not able to be as close. We're not able to work together. We're not able to commune. You know, sometimes when people are close together and they're working together, their energy connects even better and they work better together just from being close. And sometimes it turns into something else. You know what I mean? But you feel that energy between working with other people, that synergy. That synergy works best when we're closer together. When we're further apart, we lose that synergy. And people who are quieter and more introverted are heard less. And people who are more extroverted are heard more, and our opinions overwhelm. And we don't get information back. It's because COVID-19. COVID-19 is dangerous. And I should have got a better picture. That picture was terrible. You know what I'm saying? So some of us are not going to be prepared to go back to work. Some of us are not going to be ready to make this change. And you're probably wondering, even if we have a job waiting, why would that even affect us? Why? If I got a job waiting, I should be able to go back. Because when we practice social distancing, another thing here, and I'm a little bit behind on my slides here, but I'm not really. We avoid essential travel, so you're not able, like if you're in sales and you're a traveling salesperson, or your business has to do with going to different places and getting new clients, you're not able to get in essential travel. So whether it's trains, planes, or automobiles, you may be able to get in your automobile, but you might be able only to go so far to get what you need to get done. You know, we got to avoid places with large groups. That means if you wanted to build a conference, you're not going to be able to build a conference. You're not going to be able to get people together. Like if you're building a web seminar or something, a pitch, especially for those who are in multi-level marketing, like I'm not even going to say the name of this company, but yeah, some of these multi-level marketing companies, I said it last night, but some of these multi-level marketing companies are scams and some of them aren't. But I feel like in a sense, they all are scams to the sense that they all know that over 50% of people are just going to buy the product just to be a part of the group. That's not going to happen anymore. So that scam just went out the door. You're not going to get people just to buy the product just to be a part of the group. You got to provide them with some kind of value, something that helps them actually get to the next stage. They can't just be sitting there buying the product and you surviving off of that, because now you're not going to get as many of those people because they're going to be more worried about where they're going to spend their next dime, where they're going to spend their next dollar. They're not just going to be wasting money. And a lot of those people are above the age of 50. A lot of those people are above the age of 50 because we have a big community of baby boomers, huge community of baby boomers that really are still dominating our market when it comes to spending. Even though the millennials are in the workforce, they don't have as much time and as much ability to spend money as our baby boomers do. You see, some of those baby boomers came out of the Depression. Some of those baby boomers are still living out of the Depression, and some of those are right after the Depression. You know, I mean, some of the ones that came out of Depression are silver, but we still got some silver people out there. I know a professor who came from the Silver Age. You know, one of my professors who worked at NBC. You know what I'm saying? So if he's still kicking, then you can imagine he's still kicking with money in his pocket, big time money in his pocket. Then you can imagine what some of these other baby boomers with big time money in their pocket are doing and how they're still controlling our economy, including our leadership. Our leadership continues to control our economy in some kind of way, or have a hand in our economy in some kind of way, because many of them are in the boomer stage and they control and run our governments. And that's why, you know, it's going to be a little bit harder for us to continue to. That's why this is so important. I mean, because I still go back to, had this been settled between our medical environment, we would have done some of these things, including limiting gatherings that include include high risk individuals. So like if our elderly, if we knew or if we had started some social distancing early, many of our elderly would be safe right now. Many of our elderly would still be living, and many of our elderly wouldn't be sick and ill and in beds right now. You know, they had the hardest time. They had the hardest time surpassing this disease, this virus. Next are people my age and above. You know, people who are, and I'm going to say from 30s to 50s, but 40s to 50s. You know what I'm saying? Generation X. Excuse me. A lot of people in Generation X right now, some of those people are dying as well. And let me get me some of my zero water. Yes, I'm drinking zero water. And I'm going to be testing it for the next 2 weeks. Seeing if we hear some of the problems that we heard from other people. Because for some reason, some of y'all went out to get toilet tissue and water bottles. Like, that's going to save you. Water is what's going to save you. Tap water is going to save you from the toilet tissue. And tap water that's filtered is going to save you from water bottles. Because eventually, had this been as bad as you thought it would be, those plants would be closed. There would be no more production of toilet paper. There would be no more production of water bottles. So those industries would belly up. They're going to go belly up, practically belly up as it is, but they're probably getting some money right now because of the stimulus package. They probably got their money before you did. That's just the way it works. So that being said, though, these are some of the reasons why. Because we're not going to be able to be around people. We're not going to be able to work close with people anymore. We're not going to be able to be in these groups anymore. We're not going to be able to tap into people who go door to door are not going to be able to go door to door anymore and knock on the door and get that cell. And you know that if you try to call, you're still not going to get that cell because everybody got the robocaller set up. And so people are already immune to that. Just the way it is. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more why habits are so important. And I'm going to talk about this habit I got. This washing dishes habit that I had. When I had an apartment that had a dishwasher. When I had an apartment that had a dishwasher, it was habit for me to every day, whatever dish I made, I was scrubbing that dish right off right afterwards. I was cleaning as I go, constantly, consistently cleaning as I go and putting it in the dishwasher. Now, stuff would sit in the dishwasher until it was full, and then I'd run the dishwasher so it got a secondary cleaning. Because I have this OCD thing, I'm obsessed about making sure it's washed twice. Even when I wash my hand, I wash things twice. I'm obsessed about that. That's something that, is part of my habit form. And so I have this problem that because I don't have a dishwasher, sometimes I let them sit for a day. 2 days sometimes. Some things set for longer. As long as I rinse them off and clean them off and put them in there, they don't get their second washing. They may get their first washing and then I might let them sit because I don't have a dishwasher. I don't have a dishwasher, so I've already washed them off once. But I got to have them washed off again. So they'll sit on the clean side of my sink, and I got dishes in the sink. And so it bothers me, but at the same time it bothers me, it's just part of what the habit form that I have. The difference between having a dishwasher and not having a dishwasher. And, it's up to me to change my future. It's up to me to change my habit. It's up to all of us to change our future. And especially now at a time like this, we can fall into these habits that are unhealthy for us. And I got to change that future. I got to fall into a new habit of that I wash it all immediately, but I never really have time. I say that, and people say that they have more time right now, but I don't have more time right now. I got the same amount of time I have when I was going to classes, actually, because I got more stuff to do now. More stuff because I'm used to working in this type of habit-forming realm. More stuff to do at home and less time to do it. More hours to get it done and less time to do it. Because you can only work so long before you burn out. And, you know, what they call it, diminishing returns. After a certain amount of point, you get diminishing returns, meaning you're not going to get enough out of it unless you go to sleep, unless you take that break and go watch some Netflix. You know, some of y'all got to do some other stuff, especially some of y'all who are home alone. I say don't do that. And I'm not going to mention what that other thing is. I say don't do that. If you really want to know, Napoleon Hill has a section on that, how it is demotivating for us to do that to ourselves because we lose energy. So I'm going to leave that up to y'all and let y'all figure that out. I've talked about it before, how Napoleon Hill says that there are certain things that we shouldn't do to our bodies that take energy away from our bodies because we gain more energy by practicing that trait or that practice with other people. You know, so with that being said, we all have to change our future. It's important that we change our future. It's important that we focus on making sure our future is what we want it to be. Do you want your future to be you working at that 9-to-5 job? Going back to that 9-to-5 job after having this vacation, this non-vacation? Because you still got to pay your bills. Still got to pay your bills. This non-vacation. Do you want to have that feeling like, I don't want to go back to that job? Or I don't want to go back out there looking for a new job? Do you want to have that feeling? The job market is going to be a little bit more difficult. You're going to have to be on LinkedIn a little bit more. You might have to be skilled at working from home in order to get that job. Think about that for a second. We might change our whole workforce to working at home for a little time being. But the problem is that we lose some of that synergy. We lose some of that human contact synergy that makes us better at what we do. You see, I knew it was coming that we're going to have to get to computers, but I figured we'll be able to get to computers in small groups. In small groups of people working together and making things happen, that entrepreneur level. And that's we're going to break down to that eventually, where 150 people are going to be the size of most companies. Corporations are going to be buying up those groups of 150 people and putting them under their umbrella. An umbrella corporation might actually exist. And they might actually be out there spreading viruses similar to this one. But we have to change our own future because we're at home doing what we need to do. And I'm saying that as a joke, by the way. There is no umbrella corporation that I know of. There is no, virus that's being spread that I know of. I'm just saying that as a joke. But in the sense of now, we are in the middle of a pandemic. It is up to you to change your future and making sure that you take care of yourself or you take care of your family, you take care of your bills. And in order to do that, you got to pay attention to what's important. The things that's important. Don't pay attention to the things that are not important. In order to change the future, you've got to be obsessed. And as I said before, you've got to be obsessed about things that you can do to change your future. Uh-oh. That book is back there. Got to be obsessed. You know what I'm saying? And those who wonder what's in my back pocket, the Millionaire booklet is in my back pocket. I keep one in my back pocket at all times. But be obsessed or be average. Got to be obsessed or be average. Grant Cardone talks about this. He talks about this. He actually talks about 10X, and he says the book that'll turn your world upside down. But I think 10X, it does turn my world upside down, meaning that we got to put in more time. We got to put in more energy. We got to put in more effort. But I think be obsessed is the one that really turns my world upside down because I think I've been obsessed about a lot of things. I didn't get on yesterday because I was obsessed about making sure I rebuild my whole structure. I'm rebuilding my whole structure for the game. I mean, as you can see next to Doc Rio Rant, something's wrong with that overlay where the red is shining too much next to Instagram Doc Rio on the left of it and Twitter Doc Rio Rants on the left of it. In between my face and there's something's wrong. That's a rebuild that has to be done. But not just that. I don't want to rebuild it with somebody else's stuff. This is somebody else's template that I'm working with. Somebody else's WebMs. I can make my own WebMs. As you saw earlier, I made a better intro that's than that one that they have that's just fire. You know what I mean? I can make things better when I put myself down in a chair to get it done. And I planned, before I realized it was going to be a pandemic, I guess I thought it might have been, but I had already planned at the end of the 12 lessons of Back to the Basics to come back and take a break for a month and then come back and start a new lesson. All right? So I was already in the plan of spending that time to rebuild my setup. I was already in the plan of getting this PC, setting up a PC, and doing that. And as you can still see, I'm in the plan. As you still see, there's a power supply sitting over there. I couldn't be running this PC if I didn't have a power supply in it. So this power supply right now is a 600 for the next. That's a 500 in that one. This was a 600. Why is it 600? Because I plan on building a stronger, better computer to have two computers, PCs doing this with my Macs and my MacBook Pro and my iPad and my iPhones. You see what I'm saying? With my plethora of data and screens everywhere. Why? Because I know what's next. I have converted my living room into a broadcast station. Because in the future, I plan to build a broadcast station for stage performance, for audio performance, our live video performances. I plan to have a radio station in that booth. I have a whole layout that I've been planning for years that I plan to go on my island, Art Institute. You know what I'm saying? These are all things that I've been planning for years. Putting down, writing down, and putting down. I've been obsessed about it. I've been obsessed about doing this all the time. And you know, the common misconception with people being obsessed is that there's a common misconception is that it's bad. It's only bad if you're paying attention to bad things. If you're paying attention to bad things, then being obsessed about bad things is wrong. If you're obsessed about how you can hustle money out of somebody, then that's wrong. If you're obsessed in how you can provide value and give value to somebody, then you're obsessed about the right thing. If you're obsessed about how you can do things better, to present things better to people, that's what I've been obsessed about. I haven't been wanting to present things. Like I tell people all the time, you should just start. You should just push the button, pick up your phone, and just do it. But even I am a little picky. I want to keep working on things so I can make it look better. I want to keep working on things so I can make it better for you. You know what I mean? Because to me, it's not good if it's not coming out good. You know what I'm saying? It's not good if it's not showing you from a good perspective. If it's not giving you something the way you want to see it or the way you would like to receive it, which most people would like to receive it in their homes when they want it on the right channel they want it on. That's why I'm attempting to multicast or Godcast as I call it. And no, I don't feel like I'm God. No. It's just something like in any, and that's the video gamer in me. In any video game, you know, God mode. You know, it's like I feel like I'm in God mode. You know what I mean? Being able to get stuff out to everybody in the world and being omnipresent. There's only one person in the universe who is continually omnipresent, and that would be the universe itself, or in other words, God. So, you know, that's, you know, but I don't want to step on anybody's belief at all, you know, especially on Easter. So with that being said, let's talk about why this book is important. Because the common misconceptions lead people to believe that being obsessed is wrong, but being obsessed about the wrong things is what's wrong. And Grant Cardone talks about a situation that's similar to something that I've dealt with. The situation he talks about being caught in a habit form or caught in a lifestyle that you don't want to be in, thinking about the wrong things, paying attention to the wrong things. And while you're paying attention to those wrong things, getting caught up in them and ruining your life. He says, and this is a time when he was addicted to drugs. So he was living this lifestyle of being addicted to drugs and living this lifestyle at 23. He said he was 20 pounds underweight. And he had fell into drugs so deep that he had no self-esteem, he had no direction, he had nothing left. And he managed to get a car at a job at a car dealership. Nothing left, but he managed to get a job at a car dealership. And he didn't like the job. Of course. Who wants to go out there and sell cars? I mean, there's some people who do, but who really wants to be a car salesman? Especially when it's a used car dealership. Most people think that used car dealers are shysters, rip-off artists. So he says, and then came the kicker. As a result of hanging out with the wrong people and being obsessed with the wrong things, I was beaten up within an inch of my life. I spent 3 days in the hospital and almost after bleeding out in my apartment. It took 75 stitches in my head and face to fix me up. Not even my mother could recognize me. Not even his mother could recognize him. The scars are still visible on my face today, around both eyes and my mouth. So if you look closely at Grant Cardone, you can still see the scars from when he was beaten within an inch of his life. He says, the people who loved me and believed in me, well, most had no idea of how to help me. Hell, I didn't know how to help me. I've been there. I've been there in that position where I didn't know how to help myself. And the people around me didn't know how to help me either. Even almost being beaten to death in my own home didn't change me. He was almost beaten to death in his home and it didn't change him, and he swore up and down after that he wouldn't use drugs. But guess what? The habit took control. The habit took control and he started using drugs again. And he started going back in that cycle. And it's because he was worried about the wrong things. You see, Grant Cardone tells us all the time that he was at that dealership job, and when he was at that dealership job, he was like, I hate this job. But somebody told him, hey, if you hate this job, then you should figure out how to not be in this job. You should figure out how to make more money in this job so that you don't hate this job. Because if you can really make this job work for you, then you won't hate this job anymore. You won't hate doing what this job entails anymore if you make it work for you. So I truly believe that Grant Cardone is still an addict. I believe he's addicted to money. He's addicted to well-being. He's addicted to fixing his finances and making a lifestyle for his family. He's obsessed. He's obsessed. The common misconception about him being obsessed is that he's obsessed and it's going to destroy his world. But as we see, him being obsessed has been able to get his own plane with his own name on it. And right now he's on the second plane. He took that 10X off. He got rid of that plane. He got another plane that's better and faster. It don't have the 10X on it. I don't think it does. I don't think the new one does. And it's funny because the number is N365GC, Grant Cardone. He was able to get his initials. I mean, come on. And he used that plane for business. He used that plane strictly for the idea so he can spend more time with his family as well as conduct business. So when he goes places, he brings his whole family along on these trips. They fly, they go somewhere. When they get to their destination, he puts in his work. And his family is there with him. You can't beat that. You can't beat that because he's obsessed. Because he stopped worrying about the wrong things and stopped worrying about the right things. You see, Grant Cardone says he had to reignite his obsession for good. Once he reignited his obsession for good, once he stopped worrying about the wrong things and started to make a list of things that were really important to him, what he really needed to survive, he started where he was, he used what he had, and he did what he can. Arthur Ashe says, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. I mean, you can't beat that. When a person stays sharp and they stay on point and they keep on moving, they climb up the ladder. They don't just hang off the ladder like that cat photo we all see. Just hanging there.
Doesn't somebody look silly when they just hanging there? Aren't you like, why don't you just climb up? Every time I see that photo, I think that cat should just climb up or let go. Give up or go. If you can't climb up, give up. As simple as that. Give up and start over. Accept it as a fail and keep going. You know, don't give up and destroy yourself. Give up and, I got to start over. I got to make it happen. Y'all saw me yesterday. Start this broadcast. It wasn't working. Had problems. Had issues. But after I started this broadcast and it had issues, I realized I had to reboot it. I had to start over. I had to start from scratch. So being obsessed is not bad. Not if you believe that obsession is a gift. Obsession is a gift that can help us create the things that we need to do, that can help us take care of the things we need to do, can help us take care of the people we need to take care of, can help us be stronger, live longer, grow, and go. Being obsessed is all about taking that energy that you feel, that you have about something that's good, and putting in work about it until you get it done right. But sometimes we can be over obsessed. So when is the right time to start? Start doing it now. Start putting out whatever you're trying to put out there now. Be obsessed about it and start putting out the value now. Why you got to build this home-based business? Be obsessed about taking that next level. He also says something, you know, and I'm jumping through the chapter here. He says, I'm jumping to the next chapter. He says, obsession is a gift, but he also says, it's okay to want it all. It's okay to want it all. And I think that's important. Remember that there is no limits. There are no limits to what we can do in our life. And that it's okay if you want it all. Go for the gusto. You might not get it all, but going for all, you will start to get it. I'm going to be honest with you. I talk about this all the time, how I have achieved many of my goals. It's because I wanted those goals. It's because I wanted to go after those goals. People have been looking at me as crazy. Why have I been so obsessed with doing what I love to do all the time? Why have I always constantly been involved in doing what I love to do all the time? And it's kept me looking young. You know, people just equate it to the melanin, but no. I believe because I am happier even when I've lost it all. Some of y'all looking at this poor brother don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, like I said, I'm a case study. I have gone up the ladder, fallen down the ladder. And when I fell down the ladder, it was my fault. Because I didn't have anything to be obsessed about. Really, be honest with you. I'd made it to the limit that I was like, you know, this is it. This is why this book is a game changer for me. The fact that I had to be obsessed or be average. To be obsessed or be average. So you need to be obsessed or be average. All fingers out. You need to be obsessed or be average. I'm obsessed every day. And by the way, there'll be an Amazon link in the description, and I'm going to post one in the chat right now. So yes, like I said, we got to be obsessed or be average. And if you don't have the ability to be obsessed or be average, if you haven't taken the time to do so, I think that you're wasting your time. You're not only wasting your time, you're wasting everybody else's time. Life is too short. Take a moment of time and remember to be obsessed or be average. And I'm going to put this out one more time for those watching this on other channels. This is the book I'm talking about today. This is the book that I'm sharing things on. Be obsessed or be average. It's easier for me. I am an affiliate of Grant Cardone affiliate, but it's easier for me to give you an Amazon link. You know why? Because it's easier for you. I think it's a little bit confusing sending people to his website. So I'll I'd rather give you that link than to give you a link that I may be paid a lot more on, because I want to get this value out to you, especially now in this pandemic. I think this is more important, and that's why I'm starting this lesson series Climb Up now. I'm starting this lesson series early. 2 weeks, over 2 weeks early. Because right now, y'all need it. We all need it. We all need it. I need to remind myself every day. You know, I remind myself every day by reading these books, but while I'm reading these books, I'm starting to think that I need to pass it out to other people. And if I pass it out to other people, things happen. Things change. Our world changes. Our life changes. So remember to pick up that book, Be Obsessed or Be Average. And go ahead and make sure you hit us up in the Discord chat. And if you feel like tipping, please do so. Please send us a tip. I'm not too big on asking people for tips. I don't like asking people for donations, but if you feel like tipping, I don't mind asking for tips. If you feel like tipping for the stuff that we put out there, go ahead and send us a tip at streamelements.com/rio/tip. Or you can go ahead and hit us up on Discord at docrio.com/Discord. And join our Discord chat, where I will start to build some more games and start to build some stuff to build our community a little bit more so we can keep in contact with each other, talk about where we're going next and how we can be better digital media marketers, because this is the digital media money basics. What do you learn after the back to the basics? You learn how to climb up. That's what we got to learn. You know, what would you like to have while surviving? What do you really need to survive? Think about that. We all need to sit back and make a list and reignite our understanding of obsession. I mean, reevaluate our understanding of obsession and reignite our obsession of good, is what I meant to say. And we really need to think about living a good life. Really need to think about living the good life, as Ty Lopez would say. But, you know what I mean? We need to really take value in our lives and give value in our lives and make a list of those things. Break it down. This is your bucket list time. As a matter of fact, this is that bucket list time for each and every one of us. Take that moment. Take that time. Go out there. Get what you need. Get what you need. Be around those who you need to be around and stay safe. You know, this is not the time to sit around and throw parties. This is not the time to, you know, take from one another. This is not the time to abuse the fact that there are no, that laws are being, you know, really lifted. A lot of people are getting out of jail, and I hope that you're more worried about being free than you are worried about returning to your old lifestyle. You know, this is not the time to be going out grabbing drugs off the street from somebody you don't know. I mean, if you're an addict right now, now is the time. I mean, you couldn't ask to struggle worse. You couldn't ask to this is about the best time you could detox. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I can't say all for anyone, because people have told me I don't have addictive personality, but I know I have made habits out of certain things. And I still vape to this day. I'll still tell people vape on. I make my own juice, but it's a habit that I have. So if you want, I know that picture is not as revealing as I need it to be. That supporter creator code, if you're a gamer or anything, you want to use my supporter creator code, that's DocRio. Make it easy. I feel like something was on my lip. That's just this stubble that I got to trim there. And I hope today that you like the lesson that I gave. I hope that you really got something out of this. Right now, remember, it's time to climb up. Don't just hang in there. Climb up. Once again, that's a quote from Doc Rio. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you like what you hear, if you like what you've seen on this, and you're watching this on YouTube, if it's on YouTube, I mean, it's on YouTube right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, or you're watching this on Mixer, you're watching this on Periscope, you're watching this on Facebook, you're watching this on LinkedIn,
wherever you're watching this video right now. Make sure you drop a follow or drop a subscribe. You know what I'm saying? And if you're watching this on Mixer or on YouTube, you can click that bell for future notifications. Make sure you do that. I will be on every week starting next Sunday at 1 p.m. I might be even on more than that now that we're at home more. You know, I mean, even though I have less time, I can broadcast some of this time to you all and give you some more information, even if I got to repeat a lesson. So I'm putting this out there because I remember one thing that Grant Cardone said to me. He said, remember that if you put it out there, that if you don't get 7 billion people to see it, then you haven't gotten anyone to see it. No one has seen it. So you can get 100,000, 10,000, 200,000 people to see something. Nobody's still seen it if 7 billion people haven't seen it. So there's always an opportunity. That's why you see Ty Lopez putting these commercials out so much, because 7 billion people haven't seen them. And if he can get 2-3 billion people to buy his product, if it was just for $1, he got $2 or $3 billion out of that. Think about that for just a second. That's why millionaire math is so important. We should be talking billionaire math these days. But if you like what you see, please make sure you drop a follow. There are all my social medias below. And if you're watching this on one of my social medias, go ahead and click one of those buttons. I will see you soon. This is Doc. Stay tuned for more In the Hot Box as I return next week, next Sunday at 1 p.m. with more of this lesson series. This lesson series, Climb Up, Keep Moving. This is the first lesson called Climb Up. This is Doc Rio. I'll see you soon. Peace. I'm out of here. Stay tuned for more In the Hot Box with Doc Rio.